Hi, my name's Lee Matthews and I'm a physiotherapist, and this is Pilates Rehab Relax. So don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for all of my latest content. So today I'm going to take you through the fifth step of my Rehab Staircase. And this is a graded exercise program that's aimed at building up your muscles, reconditioning you and getting you stronger to work towards the things you want to be getting back to. So we're going to start off with some stuff in standing. We're going to move on to doing some stuff laying down on the floor, and I'm going to use an exercise mat for that. If you're not okay with standing independently, you probably need to go back to step 4, where there's a little bit of support in the form of a chair or a table that you can use. So let's have a go, see how you find it. I'm going to do 10 exercises. I'm going to do 1 minute of each of them. Again, it might be to begin with, you just do the half minute and build up towards the full minute. So go at your pace and work at a level that's right for you. And I'll try and give you some options along the way. So I'm going to use my mobile phone to time 1 minute of each of the exercises. So the first thing we're going to do is march in on the spot. So we're going to keep it at a gentle pace, and you might just do the legs, but if you want a bit more cardio, then you can use the arms as well there. So ready, steady, and we're off. So again, you might want to put some nice music on alongside this, make it a bit more interesting. And with the walking, again, you take it big steps, small steps, and you work at a speed that's right for you. But we're going to do a minute of each of them if we can manage it. And we're aiming to get lightly breathless with this as well. So you should still be able to speak. If you find that you're so breathless you can't talk, then you're pushing too hard. And that's half a minute, guys. If you're only doing a half a minute, you can stop there and wait for the next one. Nearly there, 10 seconds left. There we go, well done. So that's the first exercise, and that was marching on the spot. We're now going to move on to doing some gentle squatting. So again, big squats, small squats, you're the boss for this. And again, you can just do it with your legs on their own, or you can even bring the arms in as well if you want to. So I'm going to go quite gentle with it, but again, you do what's comfortable. This isn't about making you really sore there. So there we go, off we go. So my feet are parallel with one another. As I drop down, it's like I'm trying to sit down in a chair there. So I keep my back nice and straight. And if you're just doing that half a minute, that's 30 seconds. Nearly there. So if you've got a grumbly knee, you might even just only go a really small distance with these, and that's absolutely fine. Just a few seconds. There you go. And that's the second exercise, which was squatting. We're now going to go on to do a lunge. So what I'm going to do is take one step out in front of me, bring my weight onto that forward leg, and as I go forward, I'm looking to try and keep a nice vertical line between the hip, the knee, and the toes there. What I don't want you doing is kind of veering in with the knee there. So that's kind of what I'm after. So you might do a large stride, you might only do a little baby one. I really don't mind, but it's bringing that weight forwards onto that front leg. So here we go. Let me start my stopwatch and we'll get going. And again, if you want to make it a little bit more of a cardio exercise, then you can involve the arms again. I really don't mind. Nearly at 30 seconds. There you go. So that's half a minute. So if you're just doing the 30 seconds, you can stop. But for the rest of you, keep on going. We'll get there. So the nice thing is it's only 10 minutes of exercise in total, but actually it's quite surprising how tiring that can be. And don't be surprised if you end up a little bit breathless, that's fine. But we just don't want to completely wear you out for the rest of the day. There you go. And that's a minute of lunges. There's one last exercise in standing that we're going to do, and that's sidestepping. So what I'm going to aim to try and do is 2 steps one way, and then 2 steps the other way. So if I get my stopwatch going, there we go. So you've got 2 options here. You can either do just the legs on its own, or you can start to involve the arms as well. So as I step, bringing my arms out, and again, just getting some of my arms moving, but also it's just bringing in a little bit more of a cardio component to the exercise. Now hopefully where you'll start to feel this is in these muscles at the top of your thighs there. There you go, so that's the half a minute point. So the rest of you keep on going if you're doing the full minute. And you might find that you're doing much smaller steps or much slower steps, and that's fine, but you work at your pace and do what you can manage. Nearly there. Just a few seconds. There you go, and that's our minute of that one as well. Right, so let's bring ourselves to laying on the floor. I've got my exercise mat, and I'm going to use a little bit of a towel underneath my head for some support there. So the next exercise we're going to do in laying is bridging. What we're going to do with this one is tension our bottom muscles up, engage those tummy muscles, and then peeling our bottom off of the floor and then back down again. So if you're really struggling with this one, it might even be you just do a little bit of a pelvic tilt where you clench your bum muscles and just try and push the belly button into the bed and peel the tailbone off. But if you're comfortable, it's a bit more like a Mexican wave. We're going up, lifting the bottom up and down again. So let's start the timer and we're off. So up we go and down. So our bum muscles can often get weak with things like low back pain, and this is just a really good exercise for getting those a little bit stronger. I'm just going to keep an eye on my timer. There we go, so that's 30 seconds. Keep on going the rest of you. We'll get there. There we go, and that's your 4 minute, guys. Well done. Right, so that was bridging. Our next exercise is going to be more for the tummy muscles. So I'm going to use a Pilates exercise, which is what we call oblique prep. And what I'm going to try and do is reach up with my arm up and across there, and then I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. So I'm lifting up slightly across one side and then the other. So we're using our oblique muscles as we go up each time. So I'll start the stopwatch, here we go, and we're off. And each time you go in, you draw those tummy muscles in, and you might well feel a little bit of trembling going on. I certainly can. There we go. There we go. So that's 30 seconds. If you're just doing the 30 seconds. Another way that you could do this would be rolling a ball up the thighs, up towards one knee, and then over to the other. But again, you can do whatever you want to target this muscle group. If you found that was too much, an easier form would just be to do the exercise with the arms just tensing up. But again, you work at your pace. There you go. And that's 1 minute of working our oblique abdominal muscles. So we're now going to go to doing some work laying on our side, if that's okay. So I'm going to roll over on the side facing towards you, and what I'm going to do is a Pilates move we call side kick. So again, you might want to have a bit more than just a folded towel for this. You could use a cushion, I really don't mind. I'm going to start with both of my legs bent, so my knees are about 90 degrees there, and what I'm going to do with the uppermost leg is lift that up slightly off of the floor. And the movement is a side kick. So in Pilates we'd call this a side kick level 1. So I'm lifting the leg up and I move it forward and then back behind me. So let me start my stopwatch, and obviously we've got to do both sides. We're going to do half a minute on one side and half a minute on the other. So that foot is sliding back and forwards, hopefully drawing a perfectly horizontal line there. Let's start. I've got to be a bit more careful with the watch here because it's half a minute only. There we go, that's perfect. Right, so what we'll do, we'll flip over to the other side and do the same again. So you get yourself into a nice comfortable position, knees bent, and lift up that uppermost leg, and again, forward you go, and backwards. So what we're doing with this exercise, we're working our glute muscles. It's also a little bit of a stretch for our hip flexors as we go behind us there. Ways we could make this exercise harder would be lengthening the lever by doing it with a straight leg, and when we go to the next step in the rehab staircase, that's exactly what we'll do. But I think for the moment, work with a level that's comfortable for you and build on it. There you go, that's half a minute there. So the next exercise we're going to move on to doing is a cat-cow position. So it's a cat stretch from Pilates. I'm going to bring myself onto all fours for this one. Okay, so we're going to synchronise our breathing with the movement here. So as I go to curl up like a cat having a stretch, I'm going to breathe out, tensen up those abdominal muscles, and as I breathe in, I look up in front of me and poke my bottom out. So here we go, guys, ready, and we're off. There you go, so that's half a minute. The rest of you keep on going. So this is a good exercise for mobility because we're using the whole of our spine as we do this movement. But also, as we curl up there, we're using our abdominal muscles. And as we poke the other way, we're using our back extensors. So it's a nice exercise for just starting to get moving. There you go, and that's our minute of that one. So there's just 2 more exercises left. The first one that we're going to do is swimming in a similar position, and we're going to do it with just our legs. So if I demonstrate again, so I'm going to bring my arms up like this. So again, the intensity of the exercise is varied by how much weight you've got over your knees. So it's easier on the arms if you've got your weight back over your heels a little bit more. But if you want to make it more specific to getting your arms strong, bringing the weight forwards is the way to go this. And what we're going to do with the exercise, we're going to bring one leg out behind us and then back down, and then the same on the opposite side there. So I'll start the stopwatch and we'll all go together. So here we go. So if you haven't already felt it, this is working your glutes, it's working your hamstrings, and it's also using some of your core muscles there as well. we're nearly at the 30-second point. So again, there you go, so that's 30 seconds. A slightly easier version of this would just be to bring the legs so the toes are touching the floor behind you. But I think if you're able to tolerate it, obviously try and do the leg lift there. And if we're doing this in a real Pilates fashion, we'll be imagining we've got a tray of drinks balanced on our back there. Try not to spill any of them. Nearly there. There you go. So that was a minute of doing swimming legs. We're going to finish off with one last exercise. It's going to be a box press up. So I'm going to be in a 4-point kneeling position again. And what I'm going to do with this one is bringing my head down to the floor and back up again. So this very much is about getting our arms a bit stronger, but in a way that's not placing too much strain on them. So in the previous step of our rehab staircase, we were doing a press up against a wall, and now we're taking ourselves against more resistance from gravity with this one. So let's get started. There we go. So can you work at your pace? And I'm trying to keep those elbows tucked into my sides. So we're doing quite a lot of work on the upper arms with this exercise. So it's a good one for keeping the bingo wings at bay. We're nearly at 30 seconds there. There you go, that's 30 seconds. So ways you could make this harder would be if you had your hands further away from your knees, because obviously you're going to be taking more weight through the arms when we do that. And the progression will be to move in that direction with later steps in the staircase. Nearly there. There you go. Right, well that's it. That's the 5th step of the rehab staircase. How did it feel? How did you do? It might be you just started off by doing half a minute of some of them and you're going to build up to the full minute. You might have sailed through and felt that was really easy, in which case have a go at the 6th step, which is a progression of a lot of those exercises, and a few of them have been rejiggled to other things. So thanks for watching, and I hope you found it was useful.